My name is Josh Stetton. I've been a deer hunter for over 25 years. I'm a teacher, so it should come as no surprise that I try to find ways to save money in all the ways I can so that I keep my wife happy and I don't break the bank. And so we can have Christmas. This channel is meant to dispel the notion that you have to spend a lot of money in order to be an outdoorsman, to get out into the woods and to get up in a stand and shoot a deer. It may seem like it needs to be expensive, but it really doesn't. In fact, while luxury hunting gear has gone up a considerable amount in the last couple of years, we're taking a look at things like camouflage, jackets, pants, all the accessories that you need for hunting, including guns, bows, muzzle loaders, things like that.
Them dog?
Hunting doesn't have to be cost prohibitive. In fact, you can find a lot of what you need through thrift store shopping, going to places and buying no-name brands, including Amazon and Walmart, and simply just doing some redneck engineering. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Many first-timers aren't going to want to spend a lot of money to get into the field. So it stands to reason that you would want to spend a very little amount of money to start and to get an idea of what you're getting yourself into. Now, as hunting becomes a more regular occurrence, a more regular part of your life, then you might want to devote some more money into it and invest a little bit more heavily into equipment, shotgun, rifle, whatever. But I'm here to say that you really don't need fancy equipment to get out into the field and have a good time. The purpose of this channel is to get first-timers out into the field, people who may not have a lot of money to spend. I'm looking at you, folks who have just recently gotten divorced. I've been through that. I know what that feels like. And maybe there are people that are just getting back into it and they don't have a whole lot of money, a big budget for entry into this crazy world. Now, the first thing I would like to talk about is finding a network. And while this may sound pretty simple, it can be difficult. For many of us who've been hunting for many years, having a social network of people who hunt is pretty natural. People we work with hunt. Maybe we have friends at work that we can go hunting with, and that's great. And this is important to have this social network for a couple of reasons. Number one, you can get equipment from them that, secondhand. Let's say that your buddy just bought a brand new bow and he's got an old bow that shoots just fine. You're more likely to get a good deal from a friend than you are from somebody you're meeting on Facebook Marketplace. Not only that, but if you have friends at work or, a close friend who has a hunting property nearby or private land, if you're friends with that person, you should be, asking them if it would be possible for you to potentially hunt with them. Your friend is more likely to recommend avenues to take to be able to hunt. And honestly, hunting with a bunch of people and finding that crowd, that network, is going to be a heck of a lot more fun than getting out into the field and not knowing anyone. So that initial discomfort of getting into the field and hunting is going to feel a lot more natural and feel a lot easier to access than it otherwise would. Another way to get in touch with people, let's say you live in a big city and nobody hunts. That's very much a thing. There are programs like Meetup. It's a website, may even be an app. I'm not 100% sure about that. But if you look on Meetup, You can find people who are interested in a lot of different things that you're interested in. If you're interested in hunting, then there are meetup groups for that. And you can get together with people and have an entry point that way. I think that's the most discouraging part to people wanting to hunt. Either you move to a new place and you don't know how to get into it, you don't know where to go. Those are going to be your entry points into hunting, and people are looking for deals just like you are, so they're going to help you find places that are affordable to hunt. Another thing you can do is Facebook. Facebook has a lot of really great social networking groups that you can join. And a lot of these social networking groups, you can just watch the posts on those groups, and a lot of people will provide a lot of helpful information to help you get into the field, find equipment, things like that. Sometimes some Facebook groups even post used equipment on their website at a fraction of the cost of, traditional, box store or even things like Amazon or Bass Pro online. So we talked about networking. And again, this video is a little bit high level. We're going to dive into more specifics in future videos. But another thing that you can do is buy cheap. I'm looking at Goodwill, Walmart, Amazon. And these resources are great because you don't go to these places traditionally to look for hunting equipment. You can even go to your local hardware store and end up spending less than you would if you went to Bass Pro or Cabela's and buy a ready-made product. If you were to make that product yourself, if you were to make a blind yourself, you could make your own deer stands. That's what we used to do when I was growing up. We didn't go out and buy a deer stand, we just built it. Now at places like Goodwill, you can find some really great used apparel that can help you get out into the field. You don't need anything fancy. Anything that's going to keep you warm and keep your body broken up is going to do the job of any high-costing camouflage. I think a popular misconception is that you need really fancy camouflage to go hunt deer, and you really don't. Places like Walmart sell things at a lower price than Cabela's and Bass Pro, such as scent blockers. There's like a spray that you can put on your boots, on your clothing, that will help disguise your scent, which is one of the big things that deer are paying attention to. You can buy scent blocking detergent for much cheaper at Walmart than you could at Bass Pro or Cabela's. And Walmart's right in your backyard in a lot of situations. You're more likely to be closer to a Walmart than you are a Bass Pro or a Cabela's anyway. And then I talked about hardware stores. You can build a deer stand. You can build a hunting blind. Now, this is going to be more of a case if you hunt private land. Obviously, you're going to want a portable means of hunting if you are hunting public land. But if you have a piece of private land, there's no reason why you can't build something that will stay in the field for years to come, future hunting seasons, that you can continually use this equipment that you've built yourself. Now, there are other things like public lands that you can hunt. There are usually fees that are associated with getting a permit to hunt public land, but it's going to be much less than joining a hunt club or renting a property where you have private land that you have all to yourself, essentially. So public land is great because you have access to hundreds, if not thousands of acres in your state. The only issue is it depends on what state you're in. And this can be kind of difficult if you live in a large state and public lands are very far away from you. This could also be an issue if the public land that you seek to hunt on is very small, because then you face competition with, many hunters, dozens of hunters in some situations. So it comes down to affordability. If you're willing to shell out, $20 or $40 for a permit that will enable you to hunt public land for an entire year, you'll get plenty of opportunities to hunt that land, depending on how far away you are from it. And $40, let's say that's the high end of public land permits, that's going to cost way less than private land, which can get up into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars to rent. Not to mention hunt clubs, which can cost thousands of dollars to join. So these are things you need to keep in mind when you're searching for that first place that you're going to get into hunting. So that's usually the big hurdle, is finding a place to hunt. The second hurdle is, a gun, a bow. You need those implements in order to be able to hunt. And those feel like they could be very cost prohibitive, which I understand. But I can tell you that you can get into hunting with a shotgun that's not going to break the bank. You can get in under $400 and finance a shotgun, a brand new shotgun, in fact, that'll get you into the field and operate just fine. If you need a bow, there are some really great bows out there that are not name brand bows, but you can purchase them on Amazon for under $300 to start up, which is an amazing deal for a compound bow. In fact, I just ordered a Sanlita bow from Amazon at $199, and I put it on a payment plan that will cost $20 per month for 12 months to pay that bow off. I've been really wanting to get into bow hunting. I've been, hunting with a shotgun for the better part of my life, over 25 years. And I've never gotten into bow hunting, and I've been just wanting to get out into the field and do it. And finding this bow is going to be a really great entry point into maybe making future purchases on more expensive bows. Or maybe not. This bow may operate incredibly well. And I've read some really wonderful reviews on this bow. And again, it's around $200. So deals are out there. You just have to seek them out. There are plenty of American companies that are affordable to buy. But I would never discourage you from taking a look at, no-name brands that will help you get out there. Everybody has heard of Hoyt, everybody has heard of Matthews, and they're great, great brands. But there are, Asian brands that perform just as well. And I think a lot of people discount them because they're made in a different country. I've got news for you. A lot of the equipment that you buy has parts that are made in other countries. So now, you've got your place to hunt. You've got your shotgun, rifle, bow, whatever. Now, you need a stand. Now, I have two stands here. These I did not buy them. Um, I lucked out, and I had a friend's father who was giving his away because he no longer used it. It was just sitting in his shed for years, and that may deter people from wanting to use it, but it's a solid piece of equipment. As long as you keep it painted, and that'll keep the rust off of it, it'll stand up for years and years and years. It's a 25-year-old stand. Now, while I normally wouldn't advise buying a 25-year-old stand, you have to test it out and make sure that it's going to be safe. So that's what I did. I took it home and used it in my backyard and made sure that it would hold up to my weight, that the cables would hold. In fact, you can replace the cables at a pretty small price. $50 is expensive for many people, but you can actually look on certain sites and buy the cables individually. There's 2 cables that come with it. You can buy the cables individually and just replace them as you need to. You just have to shop around and find those deals. But you don't need a stand. You can build a blind out of the natural vegetation of the hunting property that you're going to. And in a future video, I'll get more down and dirty into that kind of stuff. Really, the only implement that you need, that I would recommend taking with you, is a bucket. And a bucket functions as a couple of different things. Number one, it's a place for you to sit and hunker down. And 2, it can also function as a gunning bag for you to carry your shells or ammunition and other things that you would need to take with you hunting, including scent blocker, gun oil, things like that, gloves. And it operates in 2 different capacities, and they're very cheap. You can buy a bucket at Home Depot for less than $6. It's really funny, there are a lot of hunters that use buckets and are very successful with buckets, but spend a lot of money on buckets. $70 I saw a bucket listed for. $70. It had a camouflage wrap around it. It had cup holders and all kinds of little things that you could put your equipment into. You have a bucket. It's meant to carry things around. So you can carry around a small light jacket and all sorts of other equipment inside the bucket. That's its function. That's what it does. And with that top on it, you can sit down on it comfortably in a blind of your making. So it may seem discouraging to get out into the field, but I'm here to tell you that it's not as daunting as you think. Please leave any questions and comments that you may have in the comments below. I'm willing to take any criticism or any suggestions that you may have. This is what this community is for, is to share information and to help one another out. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for our next video where I will be turning a bucket into a hunting implement that you can't live without. Take care and God bless.